evening. My name is Rochelle Crump, and I am president and founder of the National Women Veterans United. And I'm happy to be here this evening to talk about veterans issues, but more so about women veterans issues. I served in the United States Army during the Vietnam era, and our organization, the National Women Veterans United, we opened our organization in 2005, and since that time, we've done some amazing things. We also started a chapter in Rockford, Illinois, because we wanted to make sure that women all over the state of Illinois and nationally are aware of their VA benefits and entitlements. As you know, things go on, people get out of the service, they kind of lose their regiment with their health, they start doing other things, having children, going to school, working full time, and a lot of that is a part of stress because we have so many things that we get involved and engaged in. And at some time tonight, we want to hear from those who basically have served in the armed forces or their family or just guests who basically are watching the show tonight, in which we hope that you are. And we're going to ask you to call in at 312-738-1060 to talk about veterans issues. Of course, we do a lot of things with the Department of Veterans Affairs. We monitor those services. We know that they're going in the right way, but we also know there's still a lot of things that need to be done and a lot more to do. And I'm happy to say that I believe that the team at the VA is willing to do those things that are right and those things that we can identify that basically are problems or issues for the community veterans. There are town hall meetings that are held at the Department of Veterans Affairs, and you should go online sometimes and just look to see when they are, because those are the times that you can go to the Department of Veterans Affairs and listen to some of the issues that basically other veterans may be complaining about, and or they're praising them for the things that they do, workshops that they have, educational forums that they hold, and also because they have programs there that help individuals. They're working on right now a smoke-free campus, just like the state of Illinois, going smoke-free to be healthy and whole. So many of people who are smoking are getting ill. They're getting ill. And so we need to try to help them to overcome some of those obstacles that they have and those barriers where they're smoking. A lot of times it's just it's a mindset that we have. I smoked for 20 years and thank God I am free and have been free for more than almost 25, 30 years now. So, but you still can, digest the residuals of your early on smoking, and I see that to be the issue with some people who are winding up with cancer and or other disabilities that are life-threatening. So we just encourage everyone to please, if you're already registered in the VA, utilize those services that they do have. I'm going to let you know that the Department of Defense will be opening up in November on Veterans Day. They will be announcing the online exchange privileges. That's coming soon for veterans. And what that means is that if in fact you're an honorably discharged veteran, and you know how you used to go to the commissary to get things that we felt were much more quality and maybe at a rate that was like a discount to us? Well, they'll be opening up the commissary online only to veterans, no matter what service you had, as long as it was honorable. They've done some test applications that may still be going on, but you can look for that coming up soon, and I'm going to show you. You won't be able to see it, but you can also go and online to vetverify.org to complete your application. Again, that's vet, V-E-T, verify, VERIFY.org. Vetverify.org. I hope I spelled that right. Okay, so you go there and then you get information, and you'll also be able to do the application, and you could wind up being one of those testers for the Department to see just how that's going to happen, whether or not it's going to be efficient for them to continue on in a larger margin, and hopefully they will. I was excited when I saw it. I was discharged, but I didn't retire. And so, I don't have that military identification. And, how sometimes you have regrets about that, and you go back and you say, wow, I wish I had finished that mission because, look, 20 years, 30 years went by so fast, could have did that standing on the head. So as I watch so many others, retiring from the military, having stood the ground, completed the mission, and they're reaping the benefits for behind that. And that's what it is. It's a benefit. Not only did it, teach you the most experienced type training that you could have, and also, it made you a better person. You learned a lot. And I have to say, even for the time that I was in, I learned so much, character-wise, and, I have to say I grew up in the military. So, we know that as younger people are going into the military, and there's the pros and the cons about it. I mean, to me, there are no cons, but I can't say that because I'm not supposed to promote the military. Because a lot of people think that, if you're going to the military, you're going to war. Well, you are kind of sort of going to war, but trust me, we're in the war now, right here at home, right here on our own land. So, this, when it's your time, it's your time. It's how I have to look at it. But that's my view. So, again, November the 11th, look for that announcement to come out. Do you know where your DD-214 is? I have to keep asking that question. Do you know where your DD-214 is? Does your family know where your DD-214 is? Do you know how hard it is when something happens to you? If, in fact, you needed to go to the VA hospital because it was a much better rate and good care for you, you can't get in there without your DD-214. If you wanted your flag, if you wanted your headstone, if you wanted to be buried in the National Cemetery, you need your DD-214. We encourage you over and over again, please, if you don't have your DD-214, take time to request it. You can request it online, or you can go into one of the national service organizations. You can even come to the Women Veterans United, and we will assist you in completing that Form 180, the standard form, SF 180 form, to request your discharge paper. It's important. It carries a lot of weight even. So, on Veterans Day, you could have your discharge paper, your driver's license with your picture on it stating that you're a veteran, the Cook County discount card that verifies you're a veteran with your picture on it and what branch of service it is. And then, of course, those other things that are important for health and for burial benefits. The National Cemetery even has a predetermination project going on now. It's been going on for over a year, where you can send in that form and they will determine your eligibility for being buried in a national cemetery. Even if you don't decide to be buried there, at least you would have received a statement showing that you were eligible and that your service was validated and verified. And that will help your family a long way. So we encourage you, get your DD-214. A lot of times there are stand downs that's going on. You can get your DD-214, get help getting your DD-214 there. And again, you can use those service organizations. They're right there at the VA hospital. And speaking of that, you can also, if you're enrolled in the VA hospital, you can get your new Veterans Health Identification Card. It's VHIC. I went in last week because I was doing some business over at the VA, and I decided, let me just test it to see if they're going to give me a hard time, whatever. So I went down to the admissions where they take the photos, and no problem. They asked me, was I enrolled in the system, and I told them that I was. And they took my picture, and now I'm going to wait for it to be mailed to me. And so I'll have that new Veterans Hospital card. It's not a credit card, but certainly it's another form of identification for you as proof that you are indeed a veteran. When you're in stores and you go places, you should always ask, Do you have a veterans discount? Every dollar helps, at least for me. I can't speak for anybody else, but I know for myself, every dollar counts. If I can get a discount, I want it. So I want to encourage you to basically get your paperwork in order. That's what this is about. So let me go to the National Women Veterans United. As I told you earlier, we formed in 2005, and we are a not-for-profit organization. And so some of the things that we do is peer support. And so one of the things that we will be doing this weekend pretty much is we are hosting a peer-to-peer brunch. And our catch title was Trauma and Drama. You can manage it all. Duty, honor, courage, resilience. Promoting SAMHSA 8 dimensions of wellness. And people ask, well, what is that? Well, our well-being is about emotional, intellectual, physical, social, environmental, financial, and spiritual. And so with that in mind, all of those things are in our life, in our daily life. It's in everyone's life. And so when you look at, your emotions, when you look at your finances, when you look at your physical, when you look at intellectual, and when you look at environmental and social, we all are a part of our community. And so our well-being is important, and that's why we want to push each of our veterans to continue. We look out for each other. We make sure that we know all of our benefits. We make sure that we know how to access all of our VA benefits, because it's important for you to know. If you don't know for yourself, you're knowing because you're able to help someone else about their VA benefits. And they say the biggest media piece in the world is word of mouth. And I'll tell you, if you go to the VA hospital and you're sitting around waiting on your time to come up to see your physician, you'll hear so much information. That's where you get all the information about what works, what doesn't work, where to go, what you can get for free, those things that basically are going to benefit you, including the VA has like a food pantry there. They have that on Tuesdays, So, people go there for a lot of things. So we're having this peer-to-peer support brunch. And basically what we'll be doing is we will have a guest, Reverend Alawa Toyin Hines. She's got every alphabet behind her name. We have a call. I'm going to stop right here and take the call. Caller, are you there?
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
Quick question. I enlisted in was in the process of being enlisted in the Army back in the
Can you
early
speak up just a
70s.
little bit? I can barely hear you.
Yeah, I was in the process of being enlisted in the Army back in the early 70s after high school.
Yes.
And I went through the physical, and I had submitted all my documentation, the high school diploma, and all my applications and everything. And during the physical, I was disqualified. But I didn't find out the status of my disqualification until the next day after you spent the night in a hotel and waited for the induction the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So then I found out that I was disqualified, and I, never received any of my documents back. And I was wondering, at that point, would I have received any kind of veteran status, discharge status, anything like that?
There would be no, there's no veteran status.
Recoup that information.
Yeah, if you didn't go through basic training,
Uh-huh.
you never made it to basic training, is that correct?
Right, they said my prescription wouldn't fit in the gas mask.
Right. So if you never made it through the basic training, unless you had an accident or injury or something like that while you were in basic training, then I doubt very seriously if you would be entitled to any VA benefits.
Now, what about any kind of discharge status?
Okay, you said you spent one night over?
Yes.
Okay, what I would suggest that you do, because we never say no, we always say apply for it. So there's a form. That form number is SF180. Okay, you can go online actually and pull that down. That's a request for military records.
What is that again?
It's S as in Sam, F as in Frank, 180.
Okay.
SF stands for standard form. Standard
Okay.
Form 180.
Okay.
It is a request for military records.
Okay.
So I would, was it the Army?
Yes.
Okay, so I would basically fill that form out. There's an address, the National Archives Records. Yeah, National Archive Records, and just send it to the one that says Army. And basically, if you put the dates in there and put your all your identification information in there, then just let them look for it and see.
Okay.
You have nothing to
That far
lose
back,
other than the
they
fact
probably
that you
never.
wasted a stamp, you know. So
Yeah.
at least you'll get some, reaction from them, and they'll be able to tell you from there about any records that they may have had.
Okay. Okay. Because I mean, I was told by the Chicago Public Schools that they would not even reissue me a high school diploma certificate, because they only print them once,
Okay,
and then
but
they
you
don't
took
print them
the
again.
you took the
reprint 'em.
oath.
No, I don't recall taking an oath. I may have been
Okay.
at the oath ceremony or something, but it's that kind of step forward, step back, or and after that it was blur. I don't remember. I was kind of
Okay.
disillusioned.
Well-
I didn't get in, so I just went on home.
Right. I would just say put the particulars in there. Use an additional sheet if you have to. Tell them where you were, because they may even refer you to the Department of Defense, okay? If it has to
Okay.
go any further than that. But start there at the NPRC, the National Personnel Records Center. Start there. And then let them advise you. They'll either say no, they don't keep records like that, or they'll say here's a place that you can, basically check to see if it's there. Okay?
Okay. Now, one other quick question. I have a granddaughter that's about to go into the National Guard after high school. Do you have any mentorship type programs for youngsters that are interested in going into the service? Like you said, you grew up in the military.
Yes.
Is there any programs volunteer programs, anything that they can participate in?
I want to say that they do, and I think that because they have what they call the Family Readiness Group, you also can be involved in that entire process as a family member. Take advantage of those opportunities with the Family Readiness Group.
Right.
Once she gets in and she gets acclimated into what her duty is, and that is offered out to all of the National Guards, the reserves, and our active members.
Okay.
So that will be a time you will see mentors. You will see those of us who volunteer to help those who basically are serving, because
I see.
and family is very important for family support as well.
Right.
And so the answer to that is yes, they do. And I would say it's the Family Readiness Group, because they can keep you informed. They'll keep her informed, because she'll be doing her duty. And then remember, she's on weekend, even though she'll be going away for training. And that happens a couple times in the National Guard too, because they're state, they get mobilized in different places like the floods, the hurricanes, and things like that also. But she's got to go through her trainings first,
Right.
and then she'll be mentored upon that time. Naturally, that's what they have to do, because they have to make sure that their soldiers are ready and willing and ready. And that is one of
Can you give me the name of your
their mission
organization, your
statements
name and
is
your
always
contact
there,
information?
always ready.
Can you give me the name of your organization, your name?
Our
and your contact
organization
information?
is the National Women Veterans United. And I'm going to show a card right quick, and then you can get our
I'm
number
gonna
off
record
of
it,
there.
'cause
And
I
please
can't
give
read
her
it
the
off the
information. We'd love to
I'm gonna
mentor her and to basically follow her through her service time.
Okay, I'm going to record it because I can't read it off the screen.
Okay, that's fine. And I'll be saying the number as well, okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna
That's
do
fine.
one thing first. Well, I'm gonna do that first, and then so you can get that information, and then I can go back to my other stuff, because I want to make sure that you have it. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Okay. So I'm getting ready to do that now. Thank you. Okay. So we are the National Women Veterans United, and we have an Illinois Community Military Women Veterans Center. We're located at 7907 South Racine in Chicago, and our telephone number is 773-866-6666. 872 731 2150. 872 731 2150. And you can reach us by email at NWVU, that stands for National Women Veterans United, .org at gmail.com. And you can go to our website also. Website is www.nwvu.org. Okay? And so thank you for that, and we'll be more than happy to look after your daughter and to mentor her and help her along the way. Our members of all branches of service, all war eras, as well as all different backgrounds. And so there's some expertise that each one of us have. Please look us up. Please have her to call us. You can call for her, and we will go from there. And so for those who are homeless, at risk, and or we invite all women veterans to come out to the Pre-Veterans Day Stand Down for Military Women Veterans. It's a family focus. It's from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. on Friday, October the 6th, and it's in cooperation with the Chicago State University. They're opening up a Veterans Resource Center there. And so we will be there. We will have information on VA benefits, health care screening, resources, referrals, clothing, jewelry, and more. So we'd like for you to please come out October the 6th for our Stand Down event. Also, the Women's Memorial is an archive where all of our military information, all of the service members have registered there. It's an archive because if women don't petition for our service as well as the legacy of women serving in the military, that's how we get left out of history. So the Women's Memorial, which is in Arlington, Virginia, is right next to Arlington National Cemetery. They're having the 20th anniversary October the 20th through the 21st. You won't miss that. Don't miss it. It is a wonderful thing. You'll get an opportunity to see women from all over, everywhere, every branch of service. You're going to see some legends there, World War II, Korean, Vietnam. I mean, it is an awesome event. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. Wouldn't miss it. So we want to tell you to please, please pass the word on. It is so important. And then also, I want to just let you know that the American Red Cross will be conducting free training for U.S. military veterans for CPR. And that's going to be at the at 18 South Michigan in the Gage building. This is being supported by Roosevelt University, the Upward Bound program. So that's Friday, October the 6th also at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Can't go wrong learning CPR, I'll tell you. So that's one of the things that we should all want to do because it's a crisis right now, the way we're eating, unhealthy, and trying not to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves, and that's what our organization is promoting. We are promoting wellness. As I told you earlier about those 8 dimensions, it's important. Our organization is doing some amazing things, and we can't wait to do more things for women veterans as we continue the legacy of women who served in the armed forces. We have the only Women Veterans Center in the state of Illinois. Please feel free to come by. It's in between a museum and in between, the legacy of all those women. So I want to just show that one more time, and then I'm going to have to sign off. We're the Illinois Community Military Women Veterans Center. We're located at 7907 South Racine in Chicago. Our email address is nwvu.org@gmail.com. Our website is www.nwvu.org. Phone number 872-731-2150. We have peer-to-peer support, financial literacy, workshops, emergency services, case management, a computer lab, meditation room, book club, and we also have a kitty corner and many more things. I want to thank you for watching CAN TV for Veterans Issues. We're here once a month on the third Thursday of every month. And then there are others who come on to talk about veterans issues also. So we hope that you will check them out as well. I'm Rochelle Crump, a proud Army veteran. Thank you for watching CAN TV.